everybody, welcome to another edition of A Chapter a Day Keeps the Doctor Away. My name is Alan, otherwise known as Hisui, and I'm from ReverseThieves.com as well as the Speakeasy Podcast. And this time I'm going to be looking at the inaugural chapter of the Fate Extra manga, and it is called Normality Crumbles Away. And for people who don't know, Fate Extra is kind of a spin-off of the main Fate Stay Night series, which more people might be familiar with, the Fate Zero prequel that was recently on TV and Crunchyroll. And so, the Fate franchise, one of the biggest parts of Fate of Type Moon, and it was spun off into its own separate universe, which has a series of games on the PSP. And the first game, which this is an adaptation of, is Fate Extra, which has a Holy Grail War, but it is very different from the one in Fate Stay Night. And this is an adaptation of a video game, which does not put it on the best of terms. I mean, but I figure, this is a product of Reverse Thieves, so I might as well look at it. And I can't say that it does everything wrong, which is something that a lot of manga based on video games only wishes they could say. First thing, they wisely realized that the way that the Fate games, the Fate Extra games are set up on the PSP, not extremely conducive to great manga storytelling. So they change a lot. Like in the original game, you play as this nameless guy, and you think he's going to be the main character, but he dies off. And then the game restarts. Basically, you find that's prologue, and then it restarts as your actual character. And they cut all that out. But that's something that really works as a video game mechanic. And I guess you could have had like a fake out chapter number 1 where they kill the main character at the end and you find out that was just a prologue. But I feel like just the way that manga magazines work, the fact that most people reading this are probably people who played the game and know that the trick is coming, just a lot of reasons why it could work in the manga format, but it just wouldn't have worked as well. So better to just drop it and surprise the characters in a different way. And this starts off the same way, with the main character kind of being fuzzy about his world and like going along school life, but noticing little things are wrong. Talking to Shinji, who in this world is once again a player. And we do notice that things are different from the game right off the bat when we see Ronnie and Rin kind of having a discussion outside of school. And then of course things explode. We learn that basically the kind of matrix of the world starts crumbling and people just kind of die or spaz out in the video game, but here it's a lot more graphic. We see like explosions happening and characters taken out by shrapnel, and we see and most of the characters just died, not too horrifically, but here we see other masters starting off killing people. We see Loon and her Lancer. We see Leo and his assassin just slaughtering people left and right. Certain people who were not strong enough to kind of break through the illusion are just being killed off by masters who obviously have um, the wherewithal to take advantage of this chaos. And the main character is basically run into Shinji, and Shinji is, Shinji is like, see ya, loser, bye. And so Shinji goes off, and the main character gets cornered by Leo, who, if you've played the game, is kind of one of the bigger badasses, and he has some kind of Chinese martial artist as his servant. And in the original game, you just kind of get killed by this robot thing. And here, you get killed off by a named character, so it's a little more personal. And yeah, the main character dies, but is dying. And before he dies, he is contacted by someone who wishes him to fight, and he accepts that basically if he continues to fight, they will fight alongside him. And we see Red Saber for the first time, and so the manga ends. And like I said, manga based on video games usually pretty dire. I wouldn't say this is definitely my favoriteest manga. I mean, I'm probably just mostly gonna review it here out of obligation, but it's not bad. I mean, I've seen so many worse manga based on video game. At least this was generally easy to follow. It took the plot of the video game and made it a lot more conducive to manga. The art's kind of workman, not my favorite, but once again, they usually get kind of really new people to do series like this. It's kind of like an interesting stepping stone for people, kind of don't have their own style yet, or have their own style but not really fully firm enough to do their own original series. They kind of get these adaptation series. I mean, that's not always the case. I mean, that All You Need Is Kill is by, the Death Note guys, but that's kind of a different situation there. But I do like that they're mixing things up a little, making the story its own. I assume most of the beats will be the beats that you see in the original game, but with a little twist. So that's the first chapter. If you guys look at the next video, I'm going to be looking at the newer series, the first chapter of that, which is from one of the other perspectives of one of the other characters you can play, which is Caster. But she's going to be adapting the Fate CCC, basically the sequel. So if you were interested in this series, or you like the series after listening to this, you might want to check that out as well. Alright, see you guys next time.